In the 1980s, action movies weren't just entertainment, they were a revolution in sound, color, and star power. They turned unknowns into global icons and packed movie theaters with fire, synth soundtracks, and heroes who changed what bravery looked like. The 10 best 80s action movies didn't just thrill, they rewrote the rules. From Bruce Willis's risky bet in Die Hard to Schwarzenegger and Stallone's world-shaking rivalry. But beneath the pumped-up spectacle, there were gambles, setbacks, and industry-defining clashes that nearly derailed them all. What made these films break through, and whose legend was nearly lost to history? The countdown reveals it all, and it starts in the heart of the analog era. At number 6 on our list is Die Hard, a film that gambled everything on the unlikeliest action hero. When Bruce Willis was cast as John McClane, he was best known for wisecracks on TV's Moonlighting, not for saving hostages or dodging bullets. The studio's hands were tied by a leftover contract with Frank Sinatra, who was offered the role first at age 70 before passing. After a parade of action stars declined, Fox made an unprecedented move. They paid Willis $5 million, a record for an actor with no blockbuster pedigree. He juggled night shoots with sitcom tapings and even sustained permanent hearing loss during filming. But it was this everyman approach, barefoot, battered, and outmatched, that broke the mold. Released in July 1988, Die Hard didn't just launch Willis's movie career, it redefined what an action hero could be. At number 5 on our list is Lethal Weapon, the buddy cop thriller that electrified audiences in March 1987. Mel Gibson and Danny Glover brought together two wildly different detectives, one reckless and unhinged, the other cautious and world-weary. Their sharp banter and clashing styles delivered a mix of tension and humor that instantly set this film apart. Explosive shootouts and car chases were matched by moments of vulnerability as Riggs and Murtaugh's partnership deepened beyond the badge. The pounding synth score added a slick, modern edge, cementing the film's place in pop culture. Lethal Weapon didn't just kick off a franchise with 3 sequels. It rewrote the rules for action duos, inspiring a wave of buddy movies and turning mismatched partners into a Hollywood staple. At number 4 is The Terminator, a film that rewrote the rules of sci-fi action with sheer resourcefulness. James Cameron, then a little-known director, took a $6.4 million budget and turned it into a relentless nightmare of steel and flesh. Stan Winston's animatronic endoskeleton became a signature effect, blending stop motion with practical models to create a cyborg that felt real, even under the harsh blue light of 1984 Los Angeles. Every bullet wound, every torn face was an exercise in analog ingenuity, far removed from today's digital shortcuts. Cameron risked his own paycheck, betting on the film's success and fighting for creative control, even as legal battles with writer Harlan Ellison forced the studio to add a last-minute credit. Out of these constraints came not just a menacing villain, but the immortal promise, "I'll be back." At number 3 on our list is Predator, a film nearly derailed by its own monster. The original creature suit, built for Jean-Claude Van Damme, weighed close to 200 pounds and left him exhausted in the Mexican jungle heat. Test footage revealed the suit looked clumsy and unthreatening, forcing director John McTiernan to shut down production. With the clock ticking and millions at stake, effects legend Stan Winston was called in to save the day. Inspired by a suggestion from James Cameron, Winston designed the now iconic mandibles and rebuilt the alien for 7'2" Kevin Peter Hall. The result was a menacing, agile hunter that transformed the movie into a practical effects triumph. At number 2 is RoboCop, a film that nearly lost its bite to the censors. Director Paul Verhoeven faced the MPAA 11 times, trimming scenes of gunfire, melting flesh, and corporate carnage just to avoid an X rating. Each cut sharpened the film's satirical edge, turning violence into a punchline and corporate greed into spectacle. Verhoeven's battle with the ratings board became part of the movie's legend, as the film's over-the-top brutality doubled as a sly critique of 1980s America. Despite the controversy, RoboCop stormed past $50 million at the US box office, proving that even under pressure, satire could hit its target. And audiences couldn't look away. At number 1 sits Rambo, First Blood Part 2, the film that turned Sylvester Stallone into a larger-than-life symbol of American power. Released in May 1985, this sequel tossed aside the haunted loner of the original and, with Stallone's own rewrites, transformed John Rambo into a Cold War superhero. Studio marketing and a wave of patriotic PR stunts pushed the film everywhere, from toy aisles to cable TV marathons. Meanwhile, the rivalry between Stallone and Arnold Schwarzenegger fueled an arms race of body counts, biceps, and box office bragging rights. Each new release trying to outdo the last. Eddie Murphy's wisecracking Axel Foley and Tom Cruise's high-flying Maverick brought fresh energy, making action cinema a playground for attitude and style. The era's analog grit, MTV editing, and relentless star branding created a nostalgia that still powers the genre today. By 1988, over half of US households owned a VCR, fueling the rapid spread of 80s action films far beyond theaters. These movies, driven by practical effects, distinct film grain, and synth-heavy soundtracks, set new standards for cinematic spectacle and star power. Documented studio memos show that Bruce Willis's $5 million contract for Die Hard marked a turning point for leading men, while production records from Predator and RoboCop reveal the high stakes of analog effects and censorship battles. Yet some details remain out of reach. Pentagon communications about Rambo, First Blood Part 2 are still partly classified, and exact on-set budgets are lost to time. Today, the influence of these films is found in editing rhythms, character archetypes, and the global fame of stars like Schwarzenegger and Stallone. Decades later, the evidence is clear. 1980s action movies didn't just entertain, they transformed the industry, leaving a legacy that endures on screens and in archives alike.